Hello and welcome to this After Effects certification preparation series of videos. I'm Luisa Winters. In this video, I want to cover Objective 3.1c, which is to manage multiple layers in a complex composition. So let's talk about precomposing, parenting, null objects, render order, synchronizing, aligning audio with visual effects, and that sort of thing. All right, so let's go on to After Effects. And if you haven't done so, please download the exercise files, or if you prefer to work with your own files, please just create an After Effects project and create a couple of compositions. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and open the same composition that we've been working with, which is the footage, a text solid, etc., etc. So I reset it, I revert it to the original, and you can do that by going to File, Revert, and of course for me it's now grayed out because I haven't made any changes. And remember, After Effects grays out anything that is not applicable to what you're doing. Alrighty, so let's talk about precomposing, right? So we talked about it a little bit. Now imagine I want to do something with this as a whole, right? Maybe I'll hide this. I want to do something with this entire composition as a whole. Maybe I want to make it bigger, maybe I want to fade it in, fade it out, whatever it is. I can select all of these layers, right click, and then I can go precompose. Done. I have now a couple of choices. I can move all attributes into the new composition. That's the one I always choose. Or I can adjust the composition to the duration of the time span of the selected layers, and I can also open the new composition, right? I can name it anything I want. I'll name it new pre-comp, right? And once I click OK, there you go. All of these layers are now inside of this. It would be like a smart object in Photoshop, very, very similar. So if I want to go inside of this composition, all I have to do is double click it and it opens the original. Notice that I have two tabs now. I have the composition called footage, text, solid, blah, blah, blah. And then I have the one that I created called new pre-comp. And there are a myriad of really cool uses for this. Let me just give you one. And I'm going to select all of the video files and I'm going to create a new comp from selection. It doesn't matter which one of these I select because they're all the same size. We talked about this before, and I am going to sequence the layers, but not yet. So I'm going to deselect that, and now I'm going to click OK. The green screen one is very short, so I'm going to delete it. Now, I'm going to make sure that all of these layers are the same length. So I'm going to select them and I'm going to go a little bit to the left of the shortest one. And now Alt, Option on the Mac, right bracket, and now all of them are the same length. This is important for what I want to do. As for scale, and now I'm going to make these a little bit smaller, like yay. And now I'm going to animate all of them at the same time so that they go from left to right. So I'll select all of these again, P for position, I get it. We haven't covered keyframing yet. We haven't covered any of that. But again, this is a certification preparation series of videos, so I am assuming that you are ready to take the test, and this is merely a review. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna go here all the way to the left. Let me scrub it a little bit more. There you go. And I'm going to keyframe them. And now I'll move my playhead and I'm just going to go all the way to the right. And this is what I have, right? All of my clips are going at the same time. And I can only see one because there's a layer stacking order thing, right? So here we go. I'm going to put my playhead where I can see one, that I can see all of the layers, right? Just the top one in this case. And now I'm going to drag to the right the second one. And I'm going to keep on dragging until I like that gap in between them. Now I'm going to see by how much they overlap. and do a B here, and then do an O here. And by the way, you can scrub as you press the Shift key, and then the N, and now you can say trim comp to work area, right? And then you can go composition settings, and copy these numbers, click OK, and now let's undo, right? Let's undo. I'm going to reset the work area bar, right? And now I'm going to select all of my clips, all right? All of my clips. Right click, keyframe assistant, sequence layers, overlap. I'll select these numbers and paste. Remember, I copied them from the composition settings. I'll click OK, and now I'm going to get a perfect film strip from the videos. And you know, this works the same whether you do it with 6 videos or 600. All right, so you know, how many videos you have doesn't really matter. But we're talking about pre-composing. So I can select all of these guys, right click one of the layers, and now go to pre-compose. I'll name it film strip. And now this is just one, right? But it's even better than that, because now I can duplicate this, Command D, right? And I can move this up. Say I want to move this to here, and I'm going to duplicate this again, and I'm going to move this to here, right? Now I have 3 of them, right? Now, they don't have to be all the same. I can simply select one of them, and I can go Layer, Transform, and I can flip horizontal. And now look at what I have. I can even offset them a little bit, right? So they don't have to all come in at the same time. I can have this. I can even take those and pre-compose those. Layer, pre-compose, film, strip, many, whatever, right? And now I have just one. I can make that layer 3D, and now I can manipulate this in 3D space. I can give it an X rotation, I'll make it go like yay. I can give it a Z rotation, and now I can make it larger again. And now I have this kind of effect. And quite frankly, it's very easy to do. And people love this stuff. And in fact, I can make this a tiny little bit bigger. There you go. I can add lights, shine, all kinds of stuff. So imagine you're doing a series or whatever. What a great intro this makes, right? And it's all possible because of the pre-composing. So pre-composing becomes an important part of our After Effects workflow. Now, let's talk about synchronizing and aligning things time-wise. So let's go ahead to the audio files and right-click the drums clip. Drums. Remember, this is audio only. Now, let's do a new comp from selection, and you can play it if you want. Right? So you could do something on the downbeat. For example, this is 1, 2, 3, right? And we can add markers. Remember how to add markers? We can add composition and layer markers. I'm going to add layer markers this time. And just as a little reminder, if we go to the keyboard shortcuts and we go to markers, so add layer marker is Shift 8. All right, Shift 8. I'm going to cancel out of this, and here we go. I'm going to add one at the beginning, Shift 8, and I'm just going to play it. right? So now that I have this, I could do something like, I don't know, I'll just type talk, whatever, right? So I have just the word talk. And every time this appears, I want for a new talk to appear. That's fine. All I have to do is duplicate this. And now as I drag these, I'll press and hold the Shift key, right? So start dragging and then press and hold the Shift key. And these layers snap to the markers that you already have. And I'm just going to do these. It's not too difficult. Now I'm going to go to where I can see all of the talks. And I'm just going to put them like, yay. Doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter at all. But right now, the appearance of those talks, it agrees with the rhythms of the drum. And right now, we're just synchronizing the appearance of text to sound, but it works with anything. If you want to synchronize anything to anything else, you can use markers, whether they are timeline markers or composition markers. Remember, they come from here, or layer markers, which is what I did in this case. So don't forget, you have here aids that help you with positioning, not just in the comp panel. So here we have grids and guides, right? You also have things that help you with the positioning or the timing of things in the timeline. And the main one is markers. It's not the only one, but markers would be the main one. Alrighty, let's talk about parenting. So let's start a new composition. So Control N, which is Command N on the Mac, and then just name it parent or parenting, right? Leave the defaults, it's all good. And let's create 3 solids. Layer, new, solid. Look at the shortcut, Control Y, which is Command Y on the Mac, right? So there you go. Let's make one white. Sure, why not? White, Control Y. Let's make this one red. I'll call it red. And the next one, let's make it blue. Doesn't really matter, right? Blue. I just want a way for us to differentiate them easily. All right, so now I'm going to select all 3 of them and I'm going to make them smaller so that we can see things a little bit better. And right now I'm going to hide that and I'm going to hide keys as well. All right, so here we go. I'm going to put this one here, and I'm going to put white here in the middle. So I'm going to talk to my white layer and I'm going to say, hey, white, you are the parent of blue and red. In After Effects, you tell a layer who its parent is. You don't tell a layer who its children are. You talk to the children and you say, hey, children, here is your parent. So we're going to talk to blue and red, and we're going to say, hey, blue and red, white is your parent. So there is a parent and link column here. If you don't see it, right-click one of the column names, column header, go to column and choose parent and link. All right, so remember, we're talking to blue and red. We're going to go to this drop-down menu and we're going to say, hey, white is the parent. White is the parent. We could have also done it by using this pick whip. We just click and select white, same thing. So you can either use the drop-down menu or the pick whip. It makes no difference, right? Look what happens now when I modify white. S for scale, right? Boom, everybody becomes bigger. P for position, yep, everybody comes with. R for rotation, yep, and they are all rotating around the anchor point of white. In other words, the parent. So I can again make these much smaller. I can move the position, they all come with, And now I'm going to keyframe the rotation of all of them. So R for rotation, I'm going to keyframe all of them and then just go to about here, doesn't really matter, and have them go 3 times. Look what happens. They are rotating around their own axis and also around the axis of the parent. So parenting works with transform properties. The child layer, in this case, red and blue, will follow the parent, which is white, in everything the parent changes transform-wise. So transform-wise, what are we really talking about? We're talking about anchor point, position, scale, and rotation. Yes, opacity is part of transform, but it's not affected by parenting. It's the only one that is not affected by parenting. And remember that when the child layers follow the parent, they are using the anchor point of the parent and not their own. So right now, when you see all of these rotating, they're rotating around their own axis because they have their own keyframes, but they are also rotating around the white axis. All right? The next thing that you need to know about parenting is that where your playhead is when you parent matters, and it matters a lot. So if I type in a word, say, I'm just gonna, this is my first sentence, right? I'm going to go to my paragraph. I'm going to have it yay, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Oops, it helps if I select the text. No, this is not a lesson on text. I'm just talking about parenting, right? And now I am going to keyframe this. So I'm going to move it here. There you go. And now R for rotation, and it's going to last 1 second. And this is going to be 90 degrees, right? So it's going to be that. Making sense? That. That's it. Well, this is what's going to happen. When this rotates like that, it's going to bring a second layer here. So I'm going to type that layer. Second layer, whatever, right? And now I am going to rotate this layer, right? So R for rotation at a 90-degree angle. And I know I want it to be here, right? Here. So right now, nobody is parented. So who cares what the one layer is doing? But I'm going to move now my playhead to the right of that second keyframe, to the right. In other words, after it finished. And now I'm going to tell the second layer, hey, your parent is the first one. Look what happens when you go backwards. And there you go. That first sentence brings the second layer with it. But had I not done it then, imagine I do the parenting here. Look what happens. I'm going to use the pick whip this time. See it? That's not at all what we wanted. See it? No. So I'm going to not parent it there, and I'm going to go to after that second keyframe, and now I'll parent it, and that's the animation exactly the way that I want it. So parenting becomes a very powerful thing in After Effects, especially in 3D, where you can parent all of the layers to a null and then manipulate the null, or parent a camera to a null object and then manipulate that and all of that. But parenting is a very, very powerful thing to do in After Effects. All right, the last thing that I want to talk about in this one video is the render order. So I want you to know that After Effects renders from the bottom up. So it looks from the top down. So whatever layer is on top, let me, you know what, I'm going to revert. And I'm going to open the same composition. So even though it's looking from the top down, because we see this, right? We see this layer first and it's covering everything else, it actually renders from the bottom up. And that's what makes some of these blending modes and all of that work the way that they do. So don't forget that. So we see it from the top down, but it renders from the bottom up. All right. And this brings us to the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.